All right, everybody. It looks like my camera's working. So I've been having some trouble with my camera lately. I tried recording on my phone. It wasn't working. Subject of today, AFOQT, Air Force Officer Qualifying Test. I'm going to give you a couple things real quick just to tell you a little bit about it. It's used as part of your package in being selected for OTS, ROTC, pretty much when you go to try to get a commission with the Air Force. It's what they use to determine, you know, if you're going to get selected to go to one of those programs. It's very important for pilots as well. If you're trying to become a pilot, you're going to need it in your pilot score. Hold up. Let me be correct on this. Your PCSM. So Pilot Candidate Selection Method is what it's going to be used for. And that's a combination of things such as the TBAS, your AFOQT score, letters of recommendation, stuff like that. That's going to make up a whole different score, which I won't get into right now. I'll go back to the AFOQT, which is a test that's broken down into different sections. Some of those sections are, and they're here because I can't remember them, verbal analogies, arithmetic, reasoning, word knowledge, math knowledge, instrument comprehension, block counting, table reading, aviation information, general science, rotated blocks, hidden figures, stuff like that. Now, I will tell you right now, the AFOQT is a test that it's pretty simple stuff, but you have 380 questions and you have 176 minutes to answer these questions, meaning the Air Force wants to see, in my opinion, they want to see how you're going to do under pressure and how you're going to do with the knowledge that you have and applying that in that pressure, in that time frame. So, if you do the math, 380 questions in 176 minutes or less, that's not much time per question. Couple of tips, being this has to do with time. If you're doing word knowledge or verbal analogies, you want to make sure to, I think they give you a paragraph to read and then they have questions, kind of like the SATs. You want to read the questions, it will help to read the questions and then go to the paragraphs, because that way you don't spend all this time reading this massive section and then you go back through the questions. You can read it already knowing the question, looking for the answer, and then you find the answer and you stop and move on. Other tips, like math. I'm an engineer, so the math was pretty easy, but there's no room for error, meaning when you go through, make sure that you do it in the right approach, because you will not have time to go back. Other things like table reading, and all this information you can find. I'll try to put a link in the AFOQT guide that I used. It worked pretty well. I'm not trying to promote it, I'm not getting money, but it's a good guide. The tables are a very tough section because you have to pull a lot of information out and you have to make sure you read those tables right, because if you're not reading them right, the time it takes you to go back and find that value is the time you could have done another test question. That's how tight the time constraint is. Things like rotated blocks. It's basically pictures of blocks and shapes, and they want to check to see if you can mentally rearrange those blocks and see what they look like, rotated this way or rotated that way, and all of this is in the guide. So make sure you get a guide, make sure you study. This test, the best tip I can say is to also test yourself with like a stopwatch, to put yourself under that pressure and to really judge yourself on how many you can get right in that time constraint. Because once you get in there and you're around other people and you're in that environment, it can be a little stressful depending if you're a test taker or not. I am not a test taker. I'm terrible at tests. So for me, luckily I was the only one that was taking the test that day, so it was pretty nice. But yeah, all the other ones are pretty much self-explanatory. Make sure that you study. A lot of people don't study for this, and I've talked to different people and they're like, yeah, I didn't study, I just want to go in and take it, and they don't pass it. So make sure you do your due diligence. So that's pretty much all I have. It's the basics. If you want more in-depth, please comment below, let me know what you want. Let me know if there's something more that you'd like to hear, maybe the pilot composite selection method. Yeah, something like PCSM, whatever. It's Friday, I'm checked out. But thank you for subscribing. 1,015 subscribers is way more than I thought I'd ever have. I was happy at 50. So have a great day, and yeah, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. We'll see you guys.
Make the ground shake.